Hi everyone. In February 2024, a Sunday Independent poll found that immigration is now the second most important issue to voters behind only housing, noting that 35% of those polled said they would consider voting for a party or a candidate who values a more closed immigration policy. Hot on the heels of these findings, the European Parliament has, on the 10th of April 2024, voted to pass the EU Migration and Asylum Pact, which is designed, in their words, to thoroughly overhaul the EU's legal framework on asylum and migration. And just to clarify, this new pact, if accepted by Ireland, will not result in less immigration into Ireland, but significantly more. Now, the reason I say if accepted by Ireland is because Ireland does not have to abide by any EU law in the areas of immigration or asylum by virtue of an agreement called Protocol 21 that both Ireland and the UK negotiated as part of the Treaty of Amsterdam in 1998, unless we voluntarily opt into those laws. So what's wrong with the new EU Migration Pact, you might ask, and why should Ireland not opt in? Well, the list is extensive, so these are just the highlights. 1. Ireland would be legally required to accept relocation of a minimum of 30,000 asylum seekers annually, or pay a penalty of at least €600 million annually. 2. Ireland would lose the ability to determine what it considers to be a safe country, as this decision would instead be made at an EU level, thus making it more difficult to return applicants to other countries that Ireland deems to be safe. And 3. Ireland would lose the ability to return applicants to any country that did not offer the following guarantees: that the applicant would be allowed to remain in the third country, so this would rule out the likes of the UK, and that the applicant be given access to adequate standard of living, and that the applicant be given access to healthcare, and that the applicant be given access to education. I hope you can see where this is going and recognise that the new EU Migration Pact will not only open the floodgates in Ireland to immigration from the world over, but also irreversibly and unrecognisably change the demographics of this country on a permanent basis. And while it is clear that the Irish people do not support or want this change, the Irish government and the so-called opposition absolutely do. And they intend to opt you and I into the EU Migration Pact inside the next week or so. Noting that once we opt in, we can never opt out. And from this point forward, all of Ireland's immigration and asylum policies will be made by the European Union, with the EU dictating how many asylum seekers we must take in annually or how much of a financial penalty we must pay. I therefore implore you, for the sake of your country and children, to please contact your TDs and senators today to tell them to vote no to the EU Migration Pact. Thanks for listening.